Do 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 do. Hello, this is multiple viewer request on best value recommendations for specific parameters of best photography gear. Currently, in late 2019, people are shopping for holidays. They're making considerations, and I have no links below that you can click on because I have no affiliate links. I don't sell anything. So I think you could do a B&H photo or Robert's camera search or Amazon or wherever the hell you buy your photography gear from. I'd actually recommend not buying from Amazon, by the way. They're kind of famous for selling cameras that someone else has opened and messed with and put back in the box, and they sell it as new. There's so many cases of that. Anyway, best, we're not going to start in particular order here. We go down several different criteria. Best professional value camera. Okay. Now, I guess I should actually make a separate criteria for best professional value, full frame. But anyway, let's talk about best, in other words, something you can actually make money with. Something that will have some future proofness to it for several years, many years actually, depending on how you take care of it down the road. Right now is the Fujifilm X-H1. Right now it's priced ridiculously cheap with a vertical grip, I think $1,000 or less. A used Nikon D500. Try to grab one with like a 17 to 55 2.8, which is used right now. So that's an X-H1 and a Nikon D500 used. The X-H1 I'm only recommending buying new because new right now is dirt cheap. I should have actually stuck in an extra criteria on this in best pro value full frame. Best pro value full frame currently is either, and it's a toss-up between a Nikon D800E and a Nikon D810, which are averaging, depending on the model, between $900 and $1,100. Another best recommendation for a full frame is if you can find a great used Nikon D4. However, it's certainly not the best audio. You don't have a lot of croppability, and it doesn't have super fast autofocus like a Nikon D850 is, but this is about best pro value full frame. For that criteria, those would be the two I'd recommend. D800E, Nikon D810, and also a Nikon D4. Also, too, right now are very cheap. However, slightly more so, not slightly, moderately so inferior. I've got a couple of these myself. I've owned many of them. Is a Nikon D3S. Even up till a year ago, a used Nikon D3S commanded too much darn money. Still, many sports photographers actually use the Nikon D3S because the buffer on it is absolutely incredible. So that would be best pro value full frame. Best lightweight travel camera, unquestionably, I gave this a significant thought, is undeniably a Fujifilm X-T30. If I only take a couple, 3 lenses with me, you're really be the Fujifilm X-T30 with the new 16 to 40 f4, and also too a 55 to 200. So best lightweight travel, X-T30 Fujifilm, and the 16 to 40 f4 and the 55 to 200. Best do-it-all combo. This is not about value because it's still a pretty expensive camera. Best do-it-all combination, like a dual set. I've actually had this question a lot recently, including a phone call from a couple days ago. In other words, a set that you could do everything with. Sports, action, wildlife, landscape, portraiture. You really do everything with the Nikon D850. So camera number 1 is a Nikon D850. It's not super absolute awesomeness for absolutely everything, and it's more than enough for architecture and landscape. It's a high megapixel, full frame sensor camera. But if I were going to have a combo, in other words, 2 cameras that I could literally crucify the hell out of absolutely anything and everything, it would be the Nikon D850 and a GFX 50R Fujifilm, which right now is bleeping cheap. The great thing about medium formats, people complain that they're expensive. And of course the GFX are relatively insanely inexpensive, but that's okay. Medium format's more expensive for obvious reasons. However, the great thing is that you don't need but 1 or 2 or 3 at the most lenses. So people's like, I don't want to buy into another camera system because I got another freaking set of lenses. I understand that completely. I really do. However, with the GFX 50R, if you just use it for landscape and portraiture, the most you would really need is 3 lenses, like the 18mm, or the 24mm, 23mm have the lens. And think about it for a second. The 23mm, which is an 18mm field of view equivalent, that's the 23mm f4. Secondly, would be the 32 to 64 f4. And lastly, for portraiture, really I would actually have the 45mm 2.8. you could actually supplant that if you didn't have an enormous amount of money. The DoItAll zoom lens, the 32-64, I personally would supplant with the 45 millimeter 2.8, a 35 millimeter equivalent field of view. And lastly, actually, I'd rather have the 100 to 200 millimeter because it's so darn useful. It's basically it's like a short version of a 70 to 200, very lightweight. But most people, if it's going to be for portraiture and landscape, you're going to use the camera for would be the 110 millimeter f2, which is an 85 millimeter f1.4 equivalent, i.e. the portraiture lens for the GFX system. So really, three lenses: the 45 millimeter 2.8, the 23 millimeter, which would be for architecture and landscape. I know Fujifilm's working on a perspective control, i.e. tilt shift lens for the GFX medium format system. Of course, it's not out yet, but anyway, that's the best do-it-all combination. In other words, you could literally crucify the hell out of everything: sports, action, wildlife, portraiture, landscape, everything. There's nothing to complain about. Literally between those two cameras, 8 or 9 lenses would do it for everything. I know that's a significant amount of money, but I mean, that I cannot think of a better combo. Value-wise, now of course I could throw in the GFX 100, but if you cannot crucify it with 51 megapixels of medium format, you can't do it with 102 megapixels either. Alternatively, you could also imply for sports, action, and wildlife. However, the lens selection for hardcore wildlife is not there in the Fujifilm system. The 100 to 400 Fujifilm lens and the 200 millimeter f2 are not comparable to like a 200 500 Nikkor or a 400 millimeter 2.8 or a 600 millimeter f4. So everybody knows, including Fujifilm, they don't have the super hardcore glass for sports, action, wildlife. But alternatively, a cheaper combo than the D850 and GFX 50R would be the GFX 50R and the Fujifilm X-T3. That would bring the combination total, including glass, down by roughly $4,000. $1,500 on the camera and another $1,500 roughly on the lenses, depending on what lenses you wanted to choose for whatever applications that you are most into. Best introductory enthusiast camera. This is a mistake all enthusiasts make. They'll get a camera and they'll very, very quickly outgrow it, and it was a perfect enthusiast camera, but it was really as a plinking camera. In other words, like vacations and random stuff. But if you're an enthusiast and you buy one of those junkers, you'll very quickly outgrow it, and you'll be very quickly dissatisfied. I've seen that many, many times. But the best introductory enthusiast camera that, I mean, I've got some of the best cameras that money can buy, and I love my I should have brought it out here. I love my Fujifilm X-T30. It's a compact camera. It has all the features, mostly so. Same sensor, same image processing engine, touch screen for autofocus point selection. It's great. The X-T30 is the best introductory enthusiast camera. I would actually grab it with either a used 18 to 55, really cheap, or the 16 to 80 f4 is my favorite zoom lens for Fujifilm system. The new f4, which I've fully reviewed like a month or so ago. Also, to match that up with a 55 to 200, as far as whatever primes, that would be dependent upon what it is you prefer to do, what your primary use of engagement is, whether it be portraiture, landscape, wildlife, or a combination thereof. Of course, that's the reason why I wrote, and the link is below, a free book of tips and tricks on Fujifilm. That way you can make a best lens choice for your needs. Once again, like I said, I have no links below for any of these cameras because I don't sell anything. I actually, believe it or not, want people to save money and save time and not get hornswoggled, snake-oiled. You can actually say snake-oiled? Yeah. Get hoodooed, by people that are recommending stuff that have hot links below that they get kickbacks from. And I don't have any of that. But I hope you like this video. And if you got any questions, let me know. And I just want you to save money and get what it is that you're supposed to be armed with the facts and all the information possible. Suck up all the information from people that are trustworthy. You don't have to like the person, because I know I'm not all that entirely likable, but someone that you know is not trying to shaft you, blow smoke up your skirt. Yeah, and I'm definitely not that guy. No, I'm not. I want you to save money, get as much information and make an intelligent choice based upon knowledge and knowing what it is that you want to do. Yeah, it's important. That makes life better. Because I swear to God, every website now, wherever you go, including all these YouTube videos, all of these people and all these websites, they've de-evolved into You know, they've got something up their sleeve. You know, they're trying to tell you to buy something when they're getting a kickback from it. They're really nothing other than finger puppets for these corporations. They're just trying to get paid. If they're trying to get paid off of your ignorance, they're trying to tell you this is what to get when it's really not. I think you get my point. I don't think I need to drone on about that any longer. Yeah? I made my point clear on that front, if you will. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you got any questions. And once again, Luxi Veritas. That means truth and light. Yeah. I should have taken more Latin in school, but Latin's not all as much useful as people think it is. I learned more from ancient Greek and Sanskrit than I did from Latin. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. And right now outside it is colder. It is so friggin' cold. Phew. I hate this weather. It sucks. It's time to go back to Florida. I digress. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.